Hello everyone, we hope you're well. Now this, just a quick video to explain to you that, I don't know, people have been telling me for a long time, buy a MEATER thermometer, meat thermometer. Try and get it in the picture, Graham. Now, I've took the plunge look and bought one. Now these things can be expensive. We did get it a bit cheaper, but this is the MEATER 2, MEATER Plus. Sorry, the MEATER Plus. It's supposed to have an extended range. Now when you buy it, well, before I take that out, what I tried to do before I got it, I downloaded the app and thought, we'll have a look and see what it does. But you can't really do anything with it until you buy the actual meter. So I've got this and we've not used it. I've had a look at it, and what I've done, it was all sealed up and everything. It's brand new. Now when you get it, there's your instructions, but I looked up instructions online as well, and what you see this little tab, that little tab there, that you push that, look, well no you don't, you pull that, and that tab is on the battery, so you pull the tab out and that charges the unit. Now I'm not very good at explaining this because it's all new to me, so I did that, and apparently it could take a couple of hours, but I don't think it were that long. And then what you have to do, remove, see, I've never done this before, so this is all new to me, and I'm sorry if I'm not in the camera, I'm trying to be. You remove that and put it near that, and you link it together. Now you can see it's flashing there. I think that means it's ready. And what you do, you get the app and you connect to it. Now I'm not entirely sure, but that's giving you temperatures. Now look, it's saying the internal temperature is 21. Now I don't know too much about this. I'm going to use it today and see what happens, but you have to connect it. That's your first thing, but we've actually connected that to this. Now it looked complicated and I thought, I'm never going to work this out, but it's not complicated. If you just follow how it tells you to do it, it's fine. It really is. So it looks to me like it's going to be very good. But another thing I've realized, you see that tag on there, it's warning you. Sorry, I'm holding it the wrong way. Now what it is, there's a line there and it has to be in the meat. Well, it's about half the distance, look, but it has to be that far in the meat or you could damage it. It's no good just sticking the end of the probe in, because there's different sensors along there. And also I've been warned, you've got to keep this end clean. So, but I'm told they're brilliant. And we're going to give it a go today. Now I can't really explain to you because I know nothing about it, but I'm sure people on here have got these and can tell me how it all works. It does say there, look, attention, always insert into the meat past this line. So you have to take this off, and there's a line. Can I get this off? No, I can't. Let me get this off and come back to you, because I'm sure there's a line on there. Right, there's the unit. Now you see the line there, look, so you've got to be inserted up to that line at least. Now I'm going to try this. Now I'm sure people will be able to help me with this, but I'm not going to any great details. And also the way I'm going to cook this meat, it's not really set up for this, I don't think. But anyway, the point is, we've got a pork joint. Now I'm going to insert this in the pork and we're going to cook it and just see how it behaves, because mate, I don't know anything about it, like I said, but it should give me the temperatures, but at least I'll be able to show you. I mean, this is not an instruction video, I'm just letting you know I've bought one, because at some point you're going to see this sticking out the meat and think, I wonder what that is. So let's give it a go. Now I'm sorry if this is not very clear, honestly, I am trying. I just don't know anything about it, and that's life. But I do know you put it back in there when you've done, because that charges it and it will charge it, and it gives you a light there. Let's show you. See that? See, look, it's green, so that means it's charged. Right, if that doesn't work, if it's red, it needs charging. If it doesn't work, I've been told clean the end, because the end can sometimes get, well, you know how your oven gets, don't it, over a period of time, greasy, and you know, it just needs to be nice and clean. That I'm afraid is as much as I know, which is not very much, is it? Absolutely nothing. But I know one thing, we're going to give it a go, mate. Let's see how we get on. I'll bring you back. Right, now this bowl, I've just washed this. Now I've done this on purpose. We had chili con carne, and I left it in there because you get that smell. Now I've washed this. There's no smell in there. You know, that's fine. But what I did do overnight, I've left this on purpose. Let me move the bowl. I left this on purpose for you to show you, because you can smell it on the ring. I've got a stinky ring. Only a little. We don't tend to get a lot of smells. I've mentioned this before, but you can smell chili on there, right? But we all know the answer before I even tell you. But I've told you, look, we bought the spare rings, didn't we? And what I found is if you leave these in the open, they don't smell. They love being out in the fresh air. I mean, we wash them and everything, and you know, if you've got one of these, you know this. You can get, even when you've washed it, you can get that smell. Now I'm going to wash that out, and I'm going to wash. What ring would you like me to use? Shall we go for the blue one? Now actually, I'll wash the blue ring as well. I'll clean this out, but the ring will still smell slightly. I'll just hang that in fresh air. That'll go off, and I'll put the blue ring in, which doesn't smell at all. Do you see what I mean? But I thought I'd want to show you this, because I do tell people, and I think I don't explain myself very well. It's just so I am, mate. I don't mean anything. Let me get this washed up and I'll show you. But as I say, I'm going to wash that ring and hang it up in the fresh air. And I'll wash this ring. I mean, these are clean, but I'll just wash over it just in case, well, I don't know, there's a bit of dust collected anywhere, or, you know, a bit of a tea towel stuck on it, or I'll just wash it to make sure everything's nice and clean. Right, I'll do that and I'll bring you back. Right, I brought you back because I've washed my ring and I've washed the ring I'm going to put in. I just think it's a good idea. Now, I've washed this, obviously. You can see, Wendy says, I never dry anything properly. That's just a man thing, isn't it? Come on. Right. Now, these seals, I know they fit in pretty easy, don't they? It's no big deal. But we'll just put the seal in there. You watch, I won't be able to get this in because I've told you that. Come on. Right, get that seal in, and then you can see I've not dried it right, mate. Come on. Right, then what I've done, we're going to slow cook this. Now I've put the water just below the depth of the trivet. Now I'm going to put this meter this meter into the meat. Now it says through a thick part, so we're going to go in there. Now it's got to go into that line, as I said, but I'm going in a little further because it's a fairly big piece of meat, not massive. Right, this is our Sunday joint. Now I'll just wipe my hands and I'll show you the meat. Well, actually I can show you the meat now, then I'll wash my hands. That's the piece of meat we've got, look, from Lidl. As you can see there, look, 1.465 kilos. And it was 5.55. So that's the joint we're having. That'll do us 2 days. We'll have a roast dinner today and then have it cold tomorrow. So the idea is now, I am a little short on time, as you are. I'm going to slow cook this in the pressure cooker. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and if we get to within within an hour of using it, I want to know what temperature we're at. Hopefully the meter will be able to tell me, and then I'll decide, am I going to pressure cook it or just put it in the air fryer. But let's see how we go, because I don't really know what I'm doing, do I? So right, let me get the pressure cooker out and show you that. Right, now season that as you like, do just as you like, but that's not really the point of this, so don't worry about that. I've put the inner pot into the pressure cooker. Now let's get the lid on. As you can see, or can you see, the meter the meter is in there. I think you can just see it down here, look. So should that be touching the end there? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think it matters. Not sure entirely. Let's just push it in a fractionally more. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. It's not touching the actual sides or anything. It is a decent piece of meat. Oh, I better wipe my hands again now. I'll be back in a second. Right, that's me ready. Let's get this lid on. Right, we're ready to go there. As I say, you season as you like. That's, you know, that's not the point. Now, we're going on slow cook, so you need the vent open, look. Yeah, you see that little vent? Press it back, the vent's open on slow cook. Right, let me show you the front. Right, so I've got it plugged in. All we do now, we want slow cook. And I've got it set on 6 hours. That'll do me, I'm not worried. We won't need keep warm, because I've no doubt we'll be finishing before we've had long enough slow cooking, and I may even have to pressure cook as well, but I thought this will give it a good start. Now, as you see, I did say open the vent at the back, which means pressing the lever back. Look, one more time, as if you don't know. Come on Graham, everybody knows. Right, let me see how we go. I'll try and get a reading off the meter, and I'll bring you back. Well, we've done the meat the way it said, and then after we've popped it in the turbo blaze just to give it a bit more colour, look, and it's rested for 20 minutes, so that's what it looks like. Now that's according to the meter. Let's see what it tastes like. Hello everyone. I know this is part way through a video. I don't usually come on do it, but I want to try and explain this to you. Now, me and Wendy are recovering from colds at this present time, so I'm sorry if I sound bunged up. Not much we can do about that, but I wanted to try and get this into some sort of state before I lose all the film and pictures. Now this meter, this was on the Sunday morning, and what we did, we had a pork joint, right? So I've shown you the picture and you've seen it. I put it in the slow cooker. Now the first picture I took, it was 10:40 on the Sunday, 10:14. Now this picture I'll put here, you can see the internal temperature was 19 at that present time, and the ambient temperature was 32. Right, because it was starting to warm up. Then the next picture I show you, the internal, this was at 10:39. The internal temperature was 25 degrees and the ambient temperature was 59. So you can see the difference in there. The water's warming up in the slow cooker and it's warming up the meat. This is what we expect from a slow cooker. You know, maybe we don't know the temperatures and that, but this, you can see the sense in this. The water's getting warmer and it's cooking the meat. Right, now, I'm very choked up, sorry mate. And now, at 10:44, we had an internal, I'll put the picture right here for you to look at, where I've got it on my phone. I can't see it there because it's not there yet. Right, the temperature, the internal temperature was 27 degrees in the meat. The target temperature was then 71. I must have changed it, I forget. Anyway, the ambient temperature was 63 inside the chamber. So as you can see, the water's getting hotter and it's cooking the meat. We're not immersed in the water's below the level in the meat. But this is on slow cook, remember. Right, now we've got no estimated cook time, as you see, because I didn't set it up. I just wanted to see how it worked. Then, as you move on to this picture, you'll notice there is now an estimated cook time. Now, I don't know how it come up with this, but it did. How it knows I've put it in a slow cooker, I don't know. It says there's 1 hour 47 left. Right, but the important bit, look, this is now 10 past 11. The internal temperature was 39 degrees. You know, getting on for halfway now. And the target temperature is 71. The ambient temperature is 73. So you can see it's going to warm that meat. Now, at 11:46, it was 42 minutes remaining. We had an internal temperature of 56 degrees, a target of 71 still, and the ambient temperature was 80 degrees. Now, I've never been able to check this properly before, so I think, is this something we don't need to know, or do we need to know? You know, usually you put it in a slow cooker, you don't bother, do you? But anyway, the picture's there for you to look at, and I'm looking on the phone. This is just to run through you what happened with a little bit of information and no knowledge that I've got. Now, as you see there, at 10 past 12, it come up, as you see in the picture, 4 minutes remaining to cook. Now, that took me a little bit by surprise. Now, the internal temperature was 67 and we were looking for 71. I think I turned the temperature up a bit thinking, is that hot enough? I think it would have been, but anyway, the ambient temperature in the cooker itself was 84. So you get an idea of how it's working. I hope this is not too much. You'll have to message me and let me know what you think to this, but because I don't know anything and I'm trying to explain to you, God mate, we'll get through this somehow, won't we? Now, with 2 minutes, this is this picture, this is 12 minutes past 12. 2 minutes to go. It says we've got 68 degrees internal, 71 was the target, of course, and it was 83 ambient. Now you can see the arrows are getting very close together on that, so you know you're not far away, don't you? I mean, this is all new to me. You may know all about this, I know nothing, so you have to bear with me a little bit here, but I'm trying to give you my first experience of what I thought to it. So right now it says on this picture, it says remove from the heat, and the reason is the internal temperature is 69, target 71, and the ambient's 83. Now I thought, why are we taking it out when it's 69 and we want a target temperature of 71? Well, the reason is when you remove it, it still cooks. It will actually get a little hotter internally, so that's why it does that. Now this picture here, look, I thought this was a good picture. This is just a graph. Now the green one is the ambient picture, the blue one is the target temperature that I set, and then the purple one is the internal temperature of the meat. And you can see, look, if you just look on that graph, I thought, oh, this is really quite impressive. I mean, we all know slow cooking is slow and very even. You know, it's a slow cooker, isn't it? So I thought that was really good. Now, this next picture is resting time. Now, I took it out for the resting time. Now, at first I thought, I don't really understand this, but it's telling me how long I need to rest the meat. So, as you can see there, this is at 25 minutes past 12, and it's telling me I've got 3 minutes remaining resting. Now that's all that's telling me. we're obviously not mad keen on the colour when it comes. You know, it's all right. You can eat it. It's fine. Now I put it in the turbo blaze. I feel sure it was about 10-15 minutes, and all I did, turned it high just to try and put some colour and a bit of a crisp on the top. I don't usually eat the crackling anyway, but it just looks better. Now, I hope I've explained that, and I hope it's not too boring. This next picture you'll see is just where I've cut the meat and shown you. Now, really, I should have showed you the whole meal like we normally do, but I got so wrapped up with trying to understand this MEATER, I didn't do it. Now, I also realised that I've shown you the rings on there. Now, I thought I needed a bit of an explanation of why we're changing these rings. Now, anybody who's bought these rings with our link will already understand what I'm trying to tell you, but you get a smelly ring, mate, trust me, and we're not getting that now. We seem to have cured that. Now, the other thing, this meat was fine. I said to Wendy, because it's a bit fussy and we like meat well cooked, and I said to her, is this done enough for you? She said yes. Now, that piece of pork, I said it's a good joint. Now, it was a good size. The meat was rubbish, mate, really. There was a lot of fat in it. It weren't very good, but it cooked the meat perfectly. You know, I'm not making any excuses. Wendy says this is not the best choice of joint in it, but to be fair, when they're all wrapped up in a supermarket, it's not easy to see. Now, it was fine. The meat was fine. It was just very fatty. Now, what I did do after that, this has took over a week. Now, I can't remember what day it was, because as I say, we've not been that great. But one day I bought some steak. Now, I was hoping to do you a video about this steak, but all it is, we ended up with surf and turf. I bought some steak cheap off the market, and it had these king prawns in with it, you know, the big ones. And I says to Wendy, what do we do with them? She says, oh, it's all right, I'll sort them out. So, and we cut them and butterflied them and took it's the intestine into it and something else. I struggled, mate. I couldn't see what I was doing. It ain't all fiddly. It took Wendy ages. But Wendy's a bit particular. She says, I don't want it half doing. She didn't trust me to do it, mate. That's the truth. And I don't blame her. Anyway, we ended up with surf and turf. Mate, I'm wandering off, ain't I? Now, what we did, this steak, mate, I know it's awkward for you to tell how thick that is. Look, we're on the camera. But this steak was a small steak, but it was thick like that. And I got two the same size. And I thought, right, let's try it now. So I did sous vide. Now, I sealed them in the bag with the MEATER inside the bag, because I read that you can do that. Now, that was on the MEATER site, actually. Now, I sous vide this meat, and it gave you the temperature right through. Now, I'd say, from what we know, 1.5 to 3 hours sous vide. You know, you're in no rush. Put it in early. You can have it in 1.5 hours. If you're 3 hours, it don't matter. It's fine. It don't overcook. Now, I set the temperature to, I think it was 68. I'm struggling, still bunged up. Sorry. I set the temperature 68. Now, in 1.5 hours. Now, I wish I took photos, and like a fool, I haven't, so I can't do you a video. That was my intention, but as I say, we weren't feeling too well. Now, I sous vide this steak, and then we just whipped the steak out, and I let it rest as it said on the meter. I did it just to what the meter said. It gave me all the information. I just flash fried it 2 minutes each side, just to get that nice colour, you know. And I did that, and then I let it rest with the allotted time, and then we had the rest of our dinner with it. We had this surf and turf. These prawns, mate, I think Wendy's fed up with trying to get this intestines and this bit of vein out. God, they're fiddly, aren't they? I suppose if you know what you're doing. People will tell me it takes seconds. Mate, I've watched Jamie Oliver. He did one in just a few seconds. Mate, he did one. Wendy did a blooming great bag full.
No, there was, I think, I forget the measurement, but I worked it out. It was about 10 or 11, between 10 and 11 ounce bag. Now, you don't get a lot in there, but oh, it's a job. Anyway, and we had this surf and mate, we cooked the king prawns in a little bit of garlic and butter in the air fryer, just in the bottom of the air fryer, so a bit like a frying pan really, just for 10 minutes, and kept turning them over. Oh, they were nice. Now this steak, mate, the steak were bang on. Now I've cooked a few sous vide steaks now, and I've had one or two that have not been good, and I know it's because the steak's not very good. Because this piece of steak, all right, we bought it on a market, it's always dodgy. We bought 40 quid's worth, mate. We've got about 6 bags of steak and a joint, and we've got 9 bags of these prawns. Now we cooked this steak. Oh God, mate, fabulous! It was bang on. Now the MEATER said the steak was done perfectly, and it was really good. It was better than the pork, mate. Come on, steak's better than pork. We all know that, don't we? Anyway, the steak were great. I'm just trying to clear that up now. I'm sorry if this is a long, boring video. I apologise, but I thought people are going to see me using this MEATER, and they're going to say, how do you use that? Mate, I don't know anything about it. So we're picking it up as we go along. But it looks to me like, I don't think you can use it for everything. And I've got to be honest, I keep reaching for my old thermometer because I'm used to it. But I can see the sense in this thermometer. If you've got a decent sized piece of meat, I mean a chicken, you know, it's going to be great. A joint, a steak, anything like that, it's going to be perfect. I mean, a big pork chop or a lamb chop be fine. But smaller bits, you know, I'm not so sure. But we'll see how we go. We'll keep going. But I can still see a place for the old thermometer, and I like that. Anyway, mate, I'm waffling on. I will bore you to death, and I do apologise if I am. Just turn it off, mate. It's always an option, isn't it? Right, so, right. Now, if you've got any questions, mate, I don't know whether I'll be able to answer, because I know very little about this MEATER thermometer, and you probably know a lot more than me. So if there's anything you can tell me, please tell me. I don't mind. But I shall put the date on the title, because this is the stage we're at today. Now, obviously, this will change. As we get more used to it, we'll understand it more, because I've noticed that some people say to me, oh, you should have done this, you know, and it's like 2 years ago, and I think, oh, I realise that now. At the time, we're all learning together, aren't we? I mean, all the time we're learning something, and mate, I'm forgetting half of it. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, right, me and Wendy are on the mend. I feel better. Wendy's better. Right, she's not on the camera, I know, because I've had to sit in a little room talking to myself, because any interruptions, mate, and I'll be off on one of my silly stories and we'll get nowhere. Mind you, I've got one I could... No, come on. We'll leave it at that, see how we go. So, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Me and Wendy will see you soon. Look after yourselves.